Supercoach 360.
Supercoach 360. Animation.
Supercoach 360 podcast.
So, moving on, we got the team list twist. Massive shout out to Ross Mann for once again throwing these up on Supercoach 360. He started recording him because we knows you guys love him. Lots of positive comments for Ross because, yeah, we want to get him out of his shell a bit. We know you guys love what he has to say, but yeah, he's just not used to saying it to you guys yet. So make sure you get that. Lots of positive comments.
Welcome to another edition of Team List Twist. We're up to round 5. Got a few changes, some big changes too, obviously with a couple of key players being out this week. So first of all, we'll look at Knights versus Manly. So Knights first, the changes for Newcastle are Tyson Frizzell has been named despite his hamstring hemi injury, but obviously keep an eye on final teams for that one to see whether he plays or not. And the other change is Jacob Safidi starts with Leo Thompson dropping back to the bench. For Manly, Turbo is out with his injury. He's expected to be out for 4 weeks, with Kawula starting at fullback. And Christian Tipanula starts in the centres with Brad Parker named in the reserves. So that could be another one that could be another late change as well. For Warriors versus Cowboys, Warriors, AFB is injured and named on the extended bench, with Bunty Afoa named to start. Bailey Sirinen will start on the edge with Josh Curran named at lock. Joe Stavanga and Ben Murdoch-Masila are both out, with Jack Murchie and Aaron Penne coming onto the interchange bench. For the Cowboys, Scott Drinkwater starts at fullback replacing Hammer, who is out injured. And Jermaine Tanua-Brown starts in the front row with Ruben Cotter dropping back to the bench. Roosters versus Broncos. Quite a few changes here for the Broncos, with Pat Carrigan out with an injury and Cove Hetherington will start at lock. Albert Kelly is out injured with Billy Walter starting 5'8". Keenan Passalia will start in the front row, and Kurt Capewell returns from injury in the back row, while Corey Pakes and Corey Jensen join the interchange bench, and TC Rabadi drops to the reserves. So for the Roosters, they have no changes. They'll stick with the same 17 from last week, with Billy Smith still out with his injury. Raiders versus Storm. Raiders, we have no changes. And also for the Storm, there's also no changes for them either, both sticking to the same 17 from last week. South versus the Dragons. So for South, Jackson Paulo is out with a head knock, replaced by Josh Mansour. Mark Nichols is out injured, replaced by Tom Burgess. Sylvia Havali drops to the reserves, and Blake Tafe and Dave Molly join the interchange bench. For the Dragons, Jaden Sewell returns from suspension with Jack Javeski dropping to the reserves. Aaron Woods will start with Blake Laurie reverting back to the bench. For the Titans versus the Eels, Titans get some big names back this week from COVID, with Bo Firma, Isaac Liu, and Philip Sammy all returning from COVID. For the Eels, Sean Lane returns, with Ryan Matheson dropping back to the bench, and Bryce Cartwright drops to the reserves. Sharks versus Tigers, surprisingly, no changes for either side. Both sides going 1-17, same as last week. Dogs versus Panthers is the last game of the round. For the Dogs, they have made changes to the halves again, with Cole Flanagan replacing Brendan Wakeham, who reverts back to the bench, and Bailey Biondo Odo drops to the reserves. For the Panthers, no changes. And that is all your changes for team list for round 5. Good luck, everybody, and happy trading.
Animation.
Supercoach 360 podcast.